Alright, it's Creaky time. How you doing, everybody? It's me, Waddles, and welcome to another update day, my dudes. At last, after a grand total of 3 snapshots, 3 pre-releases, and 3 release candidate triple 3, we get the Garden Awakens drop. Sit back, tickle that like button, and get cozy. Over the next however many minutes it is, we're going to take a look at everything inside of this new update. We kick it off on the main menu, brand new, beautiful, paled out panorama. Now, what in the world is being imaged inside of this image? Well, my friend who's been in the dark, you just stay tuned. I'll show you later. Channel members, great news. I've got a world download of the update today world out for you right now. Go ahead and tap that join button for a little bit more info and to support me directly. There's a link below. These items, every single one of them right here, and that goes for both versions, waxed and unwaxed versions of the copper doors as well. All of these items are now going to drop no matter what. That means previously you would have, had to mine the door with the pickaxe or the pressure plate even with the pickaxe as well. Sayonara to that. And kind of similarly to that one, the ender chest. Look, I don't know who has time for this, but if you go ahead and mine the ender chest with no tool at all, well now, in the update I know you all are waiting to hear about, you'll now get a little bit of obsidian when mining an ender chest without a tool. Oh, wait, you want to hear about this thing? Oh, okay. I can't believe it, but we're here, the Pale Garden biome. It's a brand new biome that has been added to Minecraft inside of the Garden Awakens drop. Now, this biome right here, of course, this is kind of like the main staple, the big star of the show today. Every single new feature that you want to find inside of this update, well, I mean, it kind of all begins with this little biome right here. To really immerse yourselves inside of this update, you're going to need to head out into your world, explore until you find this thing, then dive in, and maybe at nighttime. Now, those of you real in line with the details might have noticed it just then. All over the ground was a brand new type of block. This block, it's called the Pale Moss block. It's essentially going to be kind of the same as the classic moss, except this time, it's a little bit more paled out. If we were to say take a hoe, then we'd be able to mine this block really quickly. On the other hand, if we were to say maybe take a little bit of bone meal and had pale moss near some of the natural blocks in the game, well, pale moss will actually spread and overtake many of those blocks. Unlike normal moss, when you bone meal pale moss, I mean, it spreads, but there will never be any azalea saplings. However, when the pale moss spreads and grows, you will find yourself a little bit of pale moss carpet. Now, at first glance, this stuff is literally just a carpet, no big deal. However, put it next to a wall and oh my god, this stuff, it climbed. Look at how beautiful this stuff is. This is just a natural, formation, if you will, of the pale moss. You could have it in a 2-high variant or a 1-high variant. If when you say place the pale moss carpet down and it's only 1 high, well, great news. You could go ahead and bone meal it to get it to be a little bit higher. Trying to bone meal it after that does nothing at all. Ah, yes, but all over that biome, usually hanging from the trees, you'll also find a brand new pale hanging moss variant as well. Now, this thing, if you want to grow it a little bit longer, all you need to do is a little bit of bone meal. If you want to pick it up and bring it back home, all you really need is a pair of shears. You can silk touch it too if you want, but why make things hard when you could just, make things easy? This stuff is so cool looking and is absolutely amazing for some of those more complex builds. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. All right, now I'm a yapper and I'm proud, but next up, let's not. Just go ahead and listen for a second. Aha, very creepy, so mysterious. So, of course, not only were there some brand new creaky sounds added to the game inside of this update, and there's a whole lot of them. I'm not going to check them all out in this video. Go to the wiki if you want to hear every one. But the big thing that I'm trying to show off here is there's a brand new way of creating ambient sounds inside of your world. To make some cool new spooky sounds inside of your world, the new sound system, all you need is this combination of blocks. Pale logs, and then pale hanging moss. Go ahead and hang this stuff on the log. The more of this stuff you get in a single area, the more often the sounds will play, but go ahead and do this combination of blocks and sounds will actually play. This is such an interesting, cool way of doing sound design. Now you can actually control sounds, or at least some sounds, inside of your world. This would go so hard under the floor of your haunted house, so it's just sounds creepy. Now, cutting things back over to the homeland for this brand new update, of course, we see brand new trees all over the place. I mean, left, right, and center. It's a tree. Ooh, and of course, you know how it goes. Where there is a tree, there is a brand new sapling. Look at how tasty this one looks. It looks like a willow tree, but maybe a baby mini version of it. How it looks in a pot, of course, is the same, just scaled down a little bit, but that's a great looking sapling. Even more beautiful about this sapling, it needs 4 to actually work. That means you can place 1 down on its own like that, and you have a new plant in your world that won't grow into a tree. On the other hand, you get a 2x2, like a dark oak tree. Give it a little bit of time or a little bit of bone meal, and it grows up into the brand new pale oak tree. Okay, brand new, yes, but also at the same time, a little bit familiar. By the way, I've got guides for so much of this stuff already out right now for you on my channel. So after this video, check out the playlist or the channel or whatever. You see, the pale garden biome, didn't mention it before, but it is technically a biome variant of the dark oak forest biome. That means not only will you find this thing generating where dark oak forest biomes usually generate, but it's going to be a little bit similar to the dark oak biome, or at least some of the details will. Coloration aside, a huge thing to set this tree apart from the dark oak tree is that brand new leaf particle effect that you're seeing right here. It all comes from this new grayed out leaf block. It looks really, really good. Great for many different build tricks. Hint, hint, wink, nudge, nudge. Oh, but this particle effect, this is so cool. You can recreate this particle effect back at home too. If you pick up the leaf and place it down, no matter what, it will always do this thing. But of course, the tree, it looks beautiful alive, but you can take it down as well for one of the most beautiful new wood types of all time, the pale oak wood set. This is a full wood set too, with every block you could dream of. Starting with the pale oak wood, listen. Unfortunately, we have default wood sounds, the first wood type with default sounds in updates and updates. But it's beautiful nonetheless. It's like a grayed out wood type. You also got the fully wooded up type of wood as well. Go ahead and strip that wood for some of the softest, most beautiful looking stripped wood in the entire game. Fully stripped up, wooded up wood too. Then you go ahead and break it down to the brand new white pale oak wood. Now, the pale oak wood, just like every other wood set in the game, you got a full wood family. That's talking fence gates, we're talking fences, we're talking pressure plates, we're talking buttons, we're even talking a brand new signs as well. Look at how nice the hanging signs look. They use that strip to texture and, a chef's kiss. It's just so good looking. Honestly, I think in a couple updates time, this wood set right here might just end up revolutionizing building because it is so nice and so versatile. It literally goes with everything. Oh, and it gets even better. How could I almost forget the beautiful door? We have a wonderful looking door right there and the trapdoor too. That's so nice. 4 of those in a circle, square, just like that right there. And I mean, you've got yourself a garbage can. It's so cool. Oh, yeah, and, like, the awkward cousin out of all of them, I always forget about this, we got a brand new boat, too. Very nice. Now, at this point in the video, we're about halfway through it. A quick reminder. Going forward, Minecraft updates will be speeding up. We'll see more of everything we're looking at today a little bit more frequently. I would love to keep you up to date. So real quick, double check. Make sure you're subscribed and notifications on maybe, and tap like on this video right now. In a feature that I kind of almost keep forgetting about, inside of the Garden Awakens drop, we have a brand new type of flower called the Eye Blossom. Take a look at the Eye Blossom. We have 2 different versions of this flower. So the Eye Blossom is a really unique flower in the sense that it has 2 different states. During the daytime, it will be closed. During nighttime, this flower will actually slowly open up. And at nighttime, take a look at the opened version of this flower. It sort of almost looks like glowing or something like that. These 2 flowers looking a little bit different. Predictably, you might guess that they actually craft a little bit different too. The open one is orange dye, the closed one is gray dye. And taking that crafting up to another level here, sus stew. If we go ahead and use these flowers to make suspicious stew, each flower will make a different one too. The open eye blossom, I believe this one is going to go ahead and give us blindness. Yes, yes. And then the closed one, if you make that into a sus stew, it's nausea. It's a very nauseous flower. But speaking of sus stew, every single, well, just about almost every sus stew has had an adjustment inside of this update. The new times, the duration for every sus stew right here, well, read the screen. You can see how long each sus stew is now going to last. This is partially a parody update with Minecraft Bedrock Edition. Some are a little bit longer, some are shorter. For players who like to, say, play creative Minecraft, maybe set up worlds like this, copy signs, we've got a brand new warning right here. That message right there, I've never seen that before in my life before this update, and I don't even know what snapshot it was added. You'll also get a similar warning message for things like custom spawn eggs as well that might end up executing commands and things like experience inside of this update. You have to take a look real closely at the ground when it hits it because orbs, they kind of bounce a little bit now. I don't know if you can really tell it all, but trust me, they're bouncing. Oh, and a beautiful change that didn't quite make it into the bedrock version of this update. Dogs. If you're breeding the dogs or the collars, take a look at them. They're going to fuse, and then their offspring, the small baby, when applicable, will actually have a... Get out of the mother. Well, the offspring, the baby, will actually have a color mixed combination. So we have red, blue, and then purple right there. That's going to apply for the cats as well. Oh, but wait a second. You said I was missing something. One more thing with the tree. Yeah, that's right. A giant thing. The Creaking Heart. The Creaking Heart is a brand new rotational block that you'll be able to find generating in naturally grown pale oak trees. That means you can never grow one of these things. This block right here is a very unique and interesting block. It almost appears, at first glance, to be a wood block. And I mean, it is, but at the same time, it's definitely not. When this block is sandwiched between two pale oak logs, it lights up with this strange orange glow. This sandwiching can happen both vertically and horizontally as well. It's a really cool looking block, great for building, but there is a little bit more that goes on with this block. If we say maybe tap on this pressure plate, tap on this button, and then look at it at nighttime, there it is, the star of the show today, the Creaking. This mob right here, it's a brand new bad mob. As long as I'm looking at this mob though, like direct eye contact, it's not that bad. The problem here is when I start to turn away from it, then it runs really, really quickly. And take a look at the damage right here. Ooh, it damages like quite a bit of damage, at least if you're unarmed. Now, if I go ahead and hit the Creaking, like try and take it out, instead of this thing going away, it kind of links back up with this source Creaking Heart block right there. Now, the particles are kind of giving you a little bit of a hint as to what's going on here. If you want to take this thing out, it's going to actually involve that Creaking Heart block. Now, quick side note here, in this update, you kind of have two versions of the Creaking. You have the one in survival and then the creative mode one. If I were to spawn a Creaking in with a creative mode spawn egg and then hit it like even once, I mean, it just goes away. Meanwhile, the survival spawn one with the Creaking Heart, you hit it in creative and it's still alive. Also, while you're in creative, it doesn't care about you. Now, this little buddy right here, there's quite a bit to it. It's a brand new system and a bunch of mechanics. So, for even more on the Creaking, check out the Everything series episode after this one. It's a complete guide, everything you need to know. But for now, if we're done with the Creaking to take this buddy out, we can go ahead and mine the Creaking Heart. And oh my god, that animation, they were cooking with it. It's gone, it's demanifested. And instead, in its place, I get a little bit of something. Resin clumps is what I got when I mined the Creaking Heart block. That's also what formed around the Creaking Heart when I was punching the Creaking. In one of the best parts of this update, because partially, I mean, it was a complete surprise edition, you have resin clump. To pick this stuff up, all you need to do is break it with your hand. It breaks instantly. This stuff is squishy, listen. Very squishy, and it's also so versatile. You can place it on any block. You can place it on the inside of a block. It's so cool. Sliding into a crafting table with it, though, with 9 of it, you can go ahead and condense it down into a block of resin, and this is reverse craftable, so you could break it back down a little bit later on. If I place this block down, listen. Oh, it's squishy as well. Look at how good the texture of this block looks. On my build video, I saw somebody say it looks like caviar, and oh my god, I can't unsee it. Oh, but look at how quick it breaks too. Insta-mineable with your hand in survival. That makes this block super great for something like maybe scaffolding on a build, a temp block or something. It also, not gonna lie, kind of looks like a dried up, like blocked version of lava, right? On the other hand here, with resin clump, you go ahead and throw that into a furnace with a tiny bit of fuel, give it a little bit of time, and something else will happen. 1 quick second later, in resin clump, it is now smelted down into resin brick, which is used to make, well, a couple of different things, including some beautiful brand new armor trim. I mean, there are no new trim items. Instead, inside of this update, it's a new trim material, initially being the resin clump, which is interesting. The tooltip right here says add an ingot or crystal. We don't have either of those anyways. We have a brick, we place it down, and it is by far the most orangey, glowing looking trim of all time. Look at how nice this stuff looks on every single set of armor, but really netherite. The orange and the black, I mean, romantic. The stuff pairs together so well and looks so good. Alternatively, though, inside of the crafting table, 4 bricks total will craft you up 1 single block of resin bricks, which have a brand new sound. Now, the bricks right here, unlike the block of it, you try and break it with your hand, and it's going to break slow, and you're not going to get anything. So it's like resin compacted right here. Of course, if we've got this cool orange glowy brick, we have orange glowy staircase, slab, and wall variants as well. And to make this set even more beautiful, the chiseled version, I mean, it's got the Creaking, the star of the show himself today. Look at it, like with the tree face and like the 3 eyes and everything. It's such a nice looking chiseled block. In order to make the resin stuff all work out nice and tightly though, they had to actually adjust the other bricks in the game as well. So the classic brick and the nether brick and the red nether brick, their texture has been adjusted downwards to to align perfectly with the resin one. In the middle of the night, in my sleep over here, we have the creaking. If I hit the creaking, that goes over there. And the skulk sensor, if there were no other vibes going on and it wasn't like on cooldown, it hears when the resin clump is formed. And hey, you're something of a pacifist? You don't like the idea of punching nature itself to get resin? Well, great news. Rarely, like insanely uncommonly, inside of the woodland mansion, you'll be able to find resin clumps generating in some of the chests. It's not very common though. You'd be better off just punching nature. Dude, now for this next one, sliding over the Minecraft wiki because there's quite a bit of mechanics to come into play here. Long story short, mobs have different weapon preferences now. Long story a little bit longer, those mobs, their weapon preferences, I mean, they're kind of the same as before. For example, a skeleton is going to prefer a bow. For example, let's say we had a drowned and it had a sword. Well, the drowned prefers to pick up a trident, so if you give it a trident, it will drop the sword and pick up the trident. Pillagers and piglins, they like crossbows. Skeletons, stray, and bog, they like bows. An interesting side effect of this change is unfortunately lose a cool Easter egg inside of this update where some wither skeletons, if given a bow, would rarely decide to pick up that bow. Well, the devs have decided that that Easter egg is not real anymore and decided to just make it so all wither skeletons will never pick up a bow. It just will not work. The bees, oh my gosh, you're a monster if you're trying this one out. But the bee right here, if I give you a wither rose, previously it would have gone into love mode, but now... oh, I just withered the bee. How could I do it? And then the brand new eye blossom, if I do that? Okay, well, I can't even do it. The open eye blossom. If I go ahead and give you the open eye blossom, you get a little bit of nausea. Not very great. Interestingly, it's the closed eye blossom which makes the nausea suspicious too, and the open one that gives you blindness though, so I don't know why it's the reverse for bees. Technical updates. Fans of the snapshot cycle for this update would know that there were so many technical additions inside of this update in order to make items not only more customizable, but easier to add, and more, well, customizable options just inside of the game in general. Not only with items and blocks, but also with things like, say, special armor, maybe signs, maybe different events based off of the real world time. Yeah, inside of this update, there are so many technical changes. For that reason, I'm not really even going to start diving into the water of all of them because this video would literally triple in length. There are so many of them. If you want to know about some of these changes in more depth, well, I've done two things for you. Down in the description is a link to the Minecraft wiki. You can slide into it and read about it all day and night long. Alternatively, if you don't want to read about it, the snapshot videos, each one of them for this update cycle, I did a good job of diving into all of the technical changes. I'll put the snapshot playlist on screen and check out the 5 most recent videos inside of it. But wait, there's more. There's one final thing, and this final thing is 203 at the time of recording this video different things that were fixed inside of this update. We are talking bugs on bugs on bugs that were fixed, with most of them being long-term bugs from before Minecraft 1.21. Now, if I wanted to make this video about all of these different bug changes and fixes, well, the video would now be about 5 times longer. There are some super notable bug fixes that happen inside of this update, but just stay tuned for more on that, maybe later this week. And so, Minecraft, the Garden Awakens drop, some of the most beautiful art of all time, one of the coolest names of all time, and so many great game-changing features all developed in the span of a month and a half. Right here near the end of the video, if you enjoyed, tap like, subscribe for more videos, a full overview of everything inside of this update, just about, including some of the things that were changed right here inside of this chest. My patrons, big shout out and thank you to you, Ground Crazy May, Medical Boomstick, Fire Dragon 19, Steve M, Nick C, Jilly K, Fateful Grimoire, Deb K, Pixie Phantom, and The Duke. Stay tuned for more interesting videos on this update and surprises coming from me later this week. And Bedrock Gang, I haven't forgot about you. I got you. Update video very soon too. It's been me, Waddles, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Thank you very much.